Hello everyone and welcome here. I am so excited to share with you in today's video two absolutely delicious, sweet and savory homemade mayonnaise and homemade chicken salad recipes. I kid you not when I say that seriously, this mayonnaise recipe and this chicken salad recipe are my absolute favorite and the best I've ever tasted. And I'm not just saying that because I'm biased and I created them. But seriously, they are so good and everybody that I've had try them absolutely loves them. And so I am really stoked to share these recipes with you guys and I hope you enjoy. Alrighty, so this mayonnaise recipe starts out by adding 1 large egg to the bottom of a quart mason jar. To that same jar, you add 1.5 teaspoons of real mineral salt. Then you add 1 cup of avocado oil. Avocado oil I've found is the best oil to use for mayonnaise because it has the most mild taste. I've tried olive oil and it's kind of gross, so I would not recommend olive oil. Next, I added the juice of half of a lime. You can do lemon as well. Originally, I created this recipe with lemon, but I didn't have any lemon, so I tried using lime, and honestly, it worked just as well. Next, you want to add 2.5 tablespoons of Dijon mustard. This is what gives this mayonnaise such delicious flavor in my opinion. Alright, next up you want to add 2 to 3 tablespoons of raw honey, depending on the level of sweetness you desire. I personally really like this mayonnaise to be a little sweeter. I think it just gives it such excellent flavor, so I went with about 2.5 to 3 tablespoons of honey. Next up, you want to add about 1/4 teaspoon of black pepper. Alrighty, so if you do not have an immersion blender, this is your sign that you need to go and purchase one. This is seriously one of my absolute favorite tools that I have in my kitchen. Obviously, I'm using it here to mix up my mayonnaise recipe. You can use it to do fruit purees. I use it to blend up creamy soups that I make. And there are so many different uses for it, many that I'm sure I have not even tapped into yet. But my absolute favorite way to use it is to make this mayonnaise. It is so easy and seamless, and literally I make it in less than 5 minutes. Mayonnaise that you get from the store is chocked full of really icky oils like canola oil and soybean oil that are just really not good for our bodies in any way, shape, or form. And I just love that I can use this tool to whip up this mayonnaise recipe in literally 5 minutes or less, and it just makes it so simple and easy for me, and I can be confident that the product that I'm making is really nutritious with good healthy avocado oil and is nourishing to my body and my family's bodies. All the while the flavor being completely unmatched to what you get in the store. If you don't like mayonnaise from the store, please try this recipe and let me know what you think, because it is seriously so delicious. I probably shouldn't admit this, but we have dipped chips and cheese in this mayonnaise because it is that good. Alright, so for this chicken salad, I started off by getting some organic celery and washed it and chopped it up super fine until I had 1 cup. Poured that 1 cup into a large mixing bowl, and then next up separated and washed some grapes. Chopped those up until I had 1 cup of grapes. And then I took 1 pretty small red onion and chopped that up, and that came to about 3/4 of a cup, which I think was a good amount. For this chicken salad, I like to have a little bit of crunch with each bite, so if you're not as much into that, I would maybe half the amount of grapes and celery and onion, but honestly I like to have a little bit of crunch with each bite. So for me, this is about the perfect amount. So after I had the celery, the grapes, and the onion all in my large mixing bowl, I started pulling some chicken off of the bone. This was a whole chicken that I used to make some meat stock. So I took all of the chicken from a whole chicken. You could make meat stock and then use that chicken, or you could even buy a rotisserie chicken from the store and just pull all that chicken off the bones. I've done that before. That also is super yummy and adds even extra flavor from the rotisserie chicken. So it doesn't really matter how you attain your whole chicken, but this recipe does use the chicken from a whole bird. After I have my meat all pulled off the bones, then I add a little more honey and Dijon mustard, probably about a tablespoon or 2 each, and also use about 1.5 cups of the homemade mayo. This mayonnaise recipe really just makes a little over 1 cup, and I put all of that in with the chicken, and then I felt like it needed a little bit more, so I probably added about another 1/4 cup or 1/2 cup of mayo that I had previously made that was sitting in my fridge. So if I were you, I would do 2 batches of this mayonnaise just to make sure that you have enough for this chicken salad. So you just stir all these ingredients up super well, cover it and put it in the fridge, and you can have this for lunches throughout the week. Honestly, this is becoming a go-to for me. I make a batch of this after I have made some meat stock that my son and I drink. And then I have lunches for my husband for the whole week. That's what we did this past week, Monday through Friday. He had chicken salad sandwiches for lunch to take to work, and it was so wonderful because I didn't have to think about what am I going to pack for his lunch every day. So this is an excellent way to batch cook for your lunches for the week. And you don't have to make a sandwich out of it. If you're gluten-free, you can just eat it as is. You can use chips to dip, add some fruit or veggies, and it makes for the perfect lunch. Alright, so here I had a beautiful artisan sourdough loaf that I had made, and so I decided to take a slice of that and make an open face sandwich with this chicken salad just so you guys can see what it looks like. I don't have my own recipe for a sourdough artisan loaf. I have one that I found from Farmhouse on Boone that I absolutely love. I kind of want to play around with different ratios to see if I can come up with one of my own, but for right now, this recipe is working well for me. I will post that recipe in the comments below if you guys want to try out this artisan loaf. But doesn't this just look so delicious with that sourdough bread and the super sweet and savory chicken salad? Oh, this is just such a good combination, and I really hope you guys try it and you enjoy. Let me know in the comments how you like this video, if you decide to cook it yourselves, and if you decide to use this idea for batch cooking lunches for your week. Alright guys, so that is going to be it for this week's video. I hope you enjoyed those 2 recipes. I really hope you try them, and let me know in the comments how you like them. I apologize that this week's video is a couple days late, but honestly this week has been a little challenging. I have been struggling with some eczema flares that have been quite painful. And honestly, yeah, just been kind of going through some stressful physical situations, and I've really just been trying to focus on relaxing and healing and nourishing my body well, and taking the time that I need to do the things I need to do to make my body feel more comfortable, to make my mind more relaxed. And I just decided that if that meant that my video was later, that it was worth it, if it meant a little more peace of mind, and yeah, just having the ability to slow down and focus on what I needed to focus on, while trying to figure out how to manage the painful symptoms and stuff. As you can see here, I've got some eczema spreading going on, and yeah, it's just been pretty painful and stressful this week. So all that to say, no matter what you've gone through this week, no matter what you are going through today or what you will go through in the future, I just pray that you can find hope and peace in the fact that our Heavenly Father loves you and cares for you and wants so desperately to carry us through all the hard situations in our lives. This week, I have really been tempted to go back into some old habits of just letting anxiety take me over, and just stressing, and just not having much peace of mind. And that's not a good place to be mentally. So I also was just really trying to prioritize laying my burdens at the feet of Jesus. And it's amazing how, I could just be in my own little world, getting so worked up, stressing about things, like wondering when this will end, wondering when I will feel better, when I'll stop having to have these flares, or when I just decided to pray and just talk to God about it, I felt infinitely better. So I just encourage you, if you're going through something hard, just really try to slow down, dial things back, and get present with God, and just tell Him what you're going through. Tell Him about your struggles and your worries, and He will be there to help you. So God bless you guys. I hope you have a great day. See you next time.
If I wrote you a song, if I got every word perfectly weighted on a thin piece of paper, would it make any change for the better? If I wrote you a poem, if I posted a letter?